The South Carolina ATE Center of Excellence has had the privilege of being funded for a number of years now, approximately 16. When we engaged in the Synergy project, it was to us a tremendous opportunity to look at how we could preserve, scale, and spread some of the innovations and successful practices and models that we developed under previous funding. So many times you are able to do really good work with the grant funding, but then that funding ends. You won't be funded to do the same thing again, but what happens to that body of work, that knowledge, the experiences that you learned, the partners that you've developed under the previously funded work? Synergy's provided that opportunity for us to look at how we could continue to push those innovations out, to help other people embrace what we've learned, benefit from what we've learned, use the models that we developed, and to carry this work forward. I think we are unique in Synergy in that most of the other centers involved in this project are targeting a component of their currently funded work for scale and spread, whereas we have chosen something that we developed under funding that we no longer have. And this is residual, if you will, from previous work. And so what they are preparing themselves for is a potential eventuality of not being funded to do this work, and where can they take it from here. That's our reality. We do not have funding to do what we would like to do with our previously generated innovations. So this has been a terrific opportunity for us, and we have learned some extremely valuable things. Quite frankly, a few lessons that we wish we had known 10 years ago. One of the things that has been most important is that understanding of having co-leaders and actually giving up something to let it live. That was sort of an aha moment for us. Learning that it was okay if your implementation sites morphed, changed, innovated with your innovation, took it to some different direction, some different level, used it in a different application. And as we became aware of that, and as we let go of the proprietary ownership of even our labeling, our name, our branding, our belief that to get the best outcomes you had to do it our way, amazing things started to happen. And our innovations have absolutely taken on a new life. We have more people today approaching us, wanting to use our model, taking our model and doing new and different things with it today than we did when that was our primary focus of our work. At that point in time, we were selling, we were pushing, we were adhering to a particular model. You know, this is what we've got, this is the way you ought to do it, and if you want to be a partner or an implementation site, this is how you've got to do it. When we let go and started saying, sure, use it however it'll work for you. We're here's a resource for you, we will help you, we will go on this journey with you, but we will be co-leaders. We want you to take ownership of this. We want you to make it your own. And as that realization surfaced, we actually took a faculty development event that was extremely powerful. Our faculty just loved getting together and working together on the core teaching methodology of problem-based learning. That's kind of the DNA of our innovations. We applied it first to engineering technologies and realized then that it really would work for any technician education and quite frankly for any education to improve the educational experience for students and to make them much more workplace ready. So how do you get people to use the problem-based learning? How do you get them to adapt this to improve technician education? Our faculty development retreats were a very effective way of doing this from our previous work. We knew that. So how could we keep doing that when we weren't funded to do that? And what we've learned is that we can partner with other people. We can bring resources in from places we had never considered doing before. We could partner with people who were doing problem-based learning in a slightly different way. They have their own model, a slightly different approach. They have skills and attributes and methodologies for helping faculty with this that we didn't have. And so as we've started to launch, if you will, our Instructional Leadership Institute, we decided to give it a new name to reflect this new understanding and this new learning. And so we called it Roots and Wings. And so this year in 2012, we will be hosting the second of our newly relaunched Instructional Leadership Institutes under the name Roots and Wings. And what we mean by that is that all of the participants have roots to our South Carolina ATE model, the methodology, the problem-based learning. They got their start, their inspiration, something about what they're doing started with us. But now we want them to be co-leaders, we want them to take ownership, we want them to now spread their wings and fly off and help other people do this, to help them become the folks that are spreading the innovation, that are taking it to scale in their environments and using it in new and innovative ways. We've been amazed at how clever they are, how innovative they are. They've come up with some things that have really benefited our project. We have ended up learning from them, whereas we started out being sort of the seat of knowledge. You know, we developed the model, we were the ones that really understood it, knew how to do it. Now we're realizing that they are teaching us, and they are helping us make our original model much more than it was initially. And so it's been an exciting journey. And so this year our Roots and Wings event is more than doubling from the size it was last year. We had 20 participants last year. I think we're going to have about 60 this year. We have about 5 funded ATE projects across the nation who built something into their proposal based on our model, who are now coming to the ILI. They will be co-instructors, co-workers, co-leaders, and we are creating a community of practice that others have tried to establish a community of practice around problem-based learning, and they've really struggled with that. But this seems to be working. This business of not, we're going to come into the fount of knowledge, come learn at the foot of the master, but rather come, let's learn together. Let's look at all the different ways you can use problem-based learning. Look at it as a spectrum of ways of implementing this methodology. No one model, no one brand, no one particular curricula that you have to use, but rather the understanding that this is a powerful teaching methodology, and we can all contribute to more people using it, more students benefiting from it. So that's been a very exciting thing for us, is to understand that. Another kind of aha moment is looking across the AT centers and the collective learning and realizing that we're all coming to the same conclusions, that we're all having the same aha moments. Quite frankly, we've all been subject to the same pitfalls of branding, ownership, clinging to our model as if it was the only true way to go. And I think that now that there's this group that understands that that is not the way to spread innovation and not the way to scale projects, I think that we, each one, have a network. We all work with a lot of other people who are either putting in grant proposals, their implementation sites for our currently funded work, whatever has allowed us to work with these people and create these networks. We're spreading this knowledge. We're sharing what we know with them. And hopefully they will learn much earlier in their process what we are just now learning, and therefore they will be able to diffuse their innovations much more effectively and much more quickly than we have been able to do. So it's really been a fabulous journey to learn from the best of the best. Jim Daring and Chris Deedy have been wonderful teachers, and have taught us things that we really need to know but would not have had any other opportunity to learn about. And another aspect of Synergy that I think is worth mentioning is the network of the individuals working on centers who are not necessarily the PI or the director. Each of these centers is staffed with some incredible people who are busy getting the work done but aren't always out networking. The center directors and PIs have a lot of opportunities to network, to see each other, to share. We make a lot of presentations around the country. We go to conferences, we see each other, we talk at a certain level about our work and about where we're going with this program. And we tend to think at a much more programmatic ATE program level. The people that work with us in our centers have some incredible technical expertise. They have quite frankly, on a day-to-day basis, probably a greater responsibility for our success and for making things happen than we do. We're kind of the public face of our centers in many ways. Not that we don't work, but those folks that are working with us in our centers are amazing. And for the first time, they've kind of come out of the closet. They're out there. They're finding out who their counterparts are at other centers. Some of the interest groups that were formed have allowed them to really get to know each other through conference calls and that sort of thing. So now we have probably quadrupled the number of go-to people where we know where we can find the expertise we need, help with a particular thing. It may be social media, it may be marketing or publications, or particular aspects of internship programs, or all the various models that are being developed across the country that are applicable across centers, that are not necessarily discipline specific, but they're these tools and know-how that are making each center very effective in its own way. And now we can all benefit from that. And we have got, rather than one level of communication, PI to PI, center director to center director, we've now got a whole subsystem of communication channels between those other people who work in the centers. And I think that has been, it's benefiting our center, and has enriched what we're doing. We're learning from them. We hope maybe they're learning some things from us. It does seem to be a two-way street, and I think that whole exchange process has added a real level of richness to the ATE community, which is unique in its own right. It is a very sharing community. As Gerhard Salinger is inclined to say, across the community colleges and the entities that engage in the ATE program, we have a highly undeveloped sense of intellectual property. We are very willing to share. We're not, so worried about somebody taking our ideas. Instead, we really want somebody to take our ideas and to use them and to spread them. And I think that's a very unique trait of the ATE community, and I think Synergy has just, kind of plugged that in at, 220 votes for those who have participated, and really given us some new methods, some new language, some new tools, and ways to do that. That has been extremely beneficial, and we're just very, very happy that we said yes when invited, and that the team said, yes, come join us for this journey. It's been really, really beneficial and helpful, and I think that the impacts of this will probably be most evident 10 years from now. I think that if somebody comes and looks and sees what was different, I'm sure that the Synergy team is looking for what's happened to us over the past 3 years, what's happening to our centers, kind of what's this immediate impact. But I suspect there's going to be some long-term impact that's really going to be what matters, and I think it'll happen, because I think we now have the tools and the knowledge to be more effective in the diffusion of innovation and scaling our projects than we have been.